Right, so
cheers.
we will now be taking questions from members of the press.
There we
Not go for the space.
Can you pull it over my
arrangement?
massive bonus there? Okay.
Jake Hamdy is up
Yes!
first.
That's a hilarious angle.
Have you taken the photo?
Can someone, someone send it. What are you doing? Can someone set my hair right?
It looks good, don't worry.
You can't lean over.
All you can see is Jake's beard and hair.
I'll hold
I'm
it.
going to keep this for the press conference. Will you send that to me?
Okay, you hold it, yeah.
Or put it, can you put that in our email, Cass, so I've got it?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Are we answering questions from the press?
Are you going to go to the front to answer questions?
What questions are you asking?
Well, you need to do an opening speech and then we ask questions.
Yeah. So you do a little opening speech about your team, what you're happy about.
I'm happy about most of it.
Hang on, whoa.
Finished in the 9th round. There's not much to say.
Why did you take Jamal Charles first overall?
Reliable.
Okay, fair enough. Any more questions? Ask him some questions.
Was it nice to finish early?
Yeah.
It's always nice to finish early on.
How do you feel not having a kicker?
Not particularly bothered.
Who are you most likely to drop for your kicker?
Probably Charles Johnson.
Are you happy with supporting a player like Gates, who's known to do drugs?
Yes.
Is he going to be the
I
face of your franchise?
Yeah. PEDs, motherfucker.
What was your thought process about picking AJ Green despite his down year last year?
And his 0 points.
He was injured last year. He's come back from the injury. Contract year. He's going to be playing out of his ass.
Will you cry when you drop Brandon Marshall for a kicker?
I'm not dropping Brandon Marshall for a kicker. It's Charles Johnson move.
Okay.
Will Greg Olsen lose his place once Antonio Gates is back?
No.
That's a good question.
Bye week.
Who's your starting 3 running backs as of right now?
I think it's pretty obvious.
Are you worried a resurgent Fred Jackson might knock Marshall Lynch off his game?
No. Because he is 34 years old.
Are you scared that Charlie Sims will knock Doug Martin off his perch?
No, because Doug Martin was taken in the 13th round.
Undoubtedly, you have the strongest looking team in the draft. Are there any concerns with your lineup?
No. There's a few risks, but other than that, nothing major.
Sweet, I think that's it.
No.
Lovely.
Thanks, Jake.
Thank
Dave
you.
Davenport is up
Jake, will you
next.
sit down?
No.
He's holding the camera.
Oh, is it?
Opening statement.
Yes, I am extremely happy with how that draft has gone there, especially the fact that I was the only player who had to write a ticket, which was always another bonus.
What do you see in Jared Hayne that makes him so great?
Well, obviously, if you follow anybody San Fran related on Twitter, he's going to be the league's MVP this year. He has had undoubtedly the best pre-season in the history of the NFL, and he is going to light up the world.
How exactly is he going to do that? Is it going to be like 9/11 but on a global scale?
9/11 was a bit of a global scale.
It wasn't, it was 2 buildings.
Not quite, but I am in it for the punt return yards.
What was your thought process as you went through the trade with me and Cal? Trades.
Trades. Well, obviously there was all the trade talk around my 3rd overall pick, which I can assure everybody in the room was never going to happen. I was always going to have that pick. With the trade with Cal, that trade has been organised for quite some time. It was always going to happen. It was just when we announced it. And with Dan, I originally liked your first offer. Then obviously circumstances changed slightly, and I wasn't going to quite accept your offer until you made the pick, which swayed it for me.
What made you draft a kicker so early?
it's previous experience with
Oh,
Gostowski.
yeah.
He's done extremely well for me in the past, and with Tom Brady back, I believe that he'll do the same for me again this year.
Tyler Eifert is your only tight end if you got full confidence he can deliver for you?
After the disappointment of losing AJ Green, I didn't want to take Sanu, Marvin Jones, but I do like the Bengals offense. Obviously, I was never going to get Jeremy Hill, and Giovanni Bernard's more of a personal pick rather than a head pick. So I've heard that he's looking good and that he could have a big season, but I don't know. There's other tight ends available which I could pick up in place of Tyler Eifert.
The Eagles' defense has previously been known as not being able to stop a nosebleed. What makes you think they'll be better this year?
It's the Eagles. It's the Eagles' defense. Last year, there was a lot of turnovers, a lot of special teams plays. They're an exciting defense, and like there's plenty of other defenses around. Like Cal did last year, you can stream defenses. It's not the be all and end all.
So you're saying you don't have full confidence in the roster that you've drafted?
No, I don't have full confidence in the roster that I've drafted. No, but late round picks, I'm happy. I'm very happy with my first 13. So I just took gambles on the last 3.
Are you concerned about how that attitude will go down in the locker room?
I am sure that the first 13 players will take confidence in the fact that they have got my full support. Jared Hayne, I think, will be more honoured than disrupted to have been drafted at all. I think if you look at some of the names that have gone to Johnny, then Jared Hayne is an absolutely outrageous pick, and he should be honoured. And Victor Cruz may never play again, so I don't think it's going to bother him too much to know that I've not got full confidence in him.
So why did you take Cruz ahead of Edelman?
Patriots, innit? You don't want to.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah. You know.
You never want to celebrate a Tom Brady touchdown.
Why did you pick Bernard over Reggie Bush, Trey Mason, Brandon Albert, Fred Jackson, Devin Coleman?
I've previously answered that.
No, you haven't.
Gio Bernard is a very personal pick. I spent £75 on his jersey last year.
But why draft him so high when he's merely a handcuff? That's what I'm asking.
Because there is
Because
a lot of
you've got a
upside.
jersey.
If Jeremy Hill gets injured, Gio Bernard.
Why don't you draft Nile Davis?
Alright, members of the press need to calm down a bit here and stop being
Why
Calm
didn't
down.
you draft Jerry
We've
McKinnon?
got the freaking Daily Star in here.
Because there's also Matt Ciata. Niall Davis is a very fair point, but obviously I have got the personal ties with Giovanni Bernard, which is why I took him over Niall. Yes, Dan.
Are you not a bit worried about the, game 1 and probably game 2 with your 2 top picks and 2 running backs not playing?
That is an extremely good point. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Right, that'll do it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So you two go now.
That was a long press.
No.
We're going to wait
almost
for
there.
questions.
I knew you would.
It's good fun.
Okay, I'd like to start this by saying very happy with all 16 picks.
You look so much like an actual coach.
Yeah, I think, it looks good.
Just a mannerism.
Very happy with my particularly wide receiver drafting. Obviously, this is something that I believe is a strength of mine. But yeah, all round happy. Some picks a little high potentially with Kelsey and Lamar Miller, but I think Kelsey's a great athlete and I love Lamar Miller's Miller time picture, so I think they're justified. Any questions?
Sorry, go on.
How are you going to feel when Peterson does have this stellar performance that you've been telling us about for quite some time?
Adrian Peterson is a great running back, but he is more of a risk than Eddie Lacy, and I couldn't take a risk with the second overall pick.
That wasn't the question.
If he does have a great season, I'd be happy for him because I love watching him.
No, you
But I'd also not be very happy as a Green Bay Packers fan because obviously he's a Minnesota Viking. So that's how I'd get over that.
Are you concerned that you have Des Bryant and the Jets on the same team? Do you think that's going to create a bad atmosphere in the locker room?
No, I love players who are aggressive, who love the game.
So do you think that's okay if they're aggressive outside of the game and like hitting civilians? Is that acceptable?
As long as they play football well, I'm not bothered. I'm here to accumulate points.
That's a headline.
What happens outside this organisation, we can deal with. But as far as the draft board is
Why did you
concerned,
take
I'm happy
James
with-
Starks over Yeldon, who's going to be a starting running back?
Obviously a handcuff for Lacey. Lacey, I wouldn't like to admit it, he's my first round pick, but he has had concussions in the past. No great injury history, but obviously just a bit of security and a bit of insurance for that.
Aren't you also concerned that Jonathan Stewart, Andre Ellington, Ryan Matthews all have significant injury histories?
Yeah, they are 3 risks, but I think they're 3 very talented players. On 3 decent teams as well. Stewart and Ellington, I think, if they can stay fit, they'll be sort of the main men for their teams. So I think they're worth the injury risk.
How did it feel to get book rate by Dave in that trade?
I really don't think I did. If you look at the draft board and if you look
No,
at
you got book rate.
where those picks were taken, Matt Ryan probably not as good as Roethlisberger. Amari Cooper has a lot more potential than Emmanuel Sanders, and the pick that I gave up was late on, didn't move back that far, so I'm more than happy with that.
Des Bryant, was it a catch?
No, it wasn't.
How do you think Des Bryant will react to hear that from his coach?
I hope he is inspired to actually catch a ball this season.
We
instead
have
of
reports that
dropping.
he's just pushed his mother down the stairs in rage.
You know he's pushed your mother.
As Lee said before, did she deserve it?
You start the season against a very strong, just call my team Jake now because I ain't decided side. Are you looking forward to take on the good lineup he has, or are you quite apprehensive?
No, definitely looking forward to it. Me and Jake had some good games over the past 2 years. The first year we obviously played each other 3 times.
I beat you the first week.
It's
the only match I won.
I think-
and then
I
I beat
think I'm-
Jacob the first game of the last season last year.
I think
and
I'm-
then it's all downhill from there.
I think I'm 3. Yeah, you often start seasons
Come out
well.
swinging.
Yeah, which is obviously a worry. But I think I must be 3-2 against you, possibly. So
Yeah, you lost. You
so I lost one last year and lost one last year. Oh yeah, it must be.
3-2.
So yeah, well, as far as I'm concerned, in my opinion, they're the 2 best rosters on there. So it's a good way to start the season.
Emmanuel Sanders, Jonathan Stewart, you were wanting to trade him. Are you worried by his 1.4 yards per carry in pre-season?
No, because I think every player reacts to pre-season and plays in pre-season differently. Stewart is a player who has had injury concerns, so I think it's a combination of them not wanting to risk him so much because he's going to be the main man and he's going to get hit a lot, and also how much was he going for it in the pre-season. Some players don't really need a pre-season to be sort of off and running.
Sweet. Any more questions? We're done. Right, Alex.
Brilliant, thanks.
Are you alright, Jacob?
Yeah, I'm fine. Oh,
That was excellent. I expect that to come up in questioning.
We took some players who I think are good for our team. Some interesting players who might contribute in the future. So yeah, happy with how that went.
Keenan Allen. Why? Is your first wide receiver when there's just a lot of other talent around, considering he did absolutely nothing last year.
He's a good player. We'll see how he does when he gets there.
Fucking knew it.
due to your press conference mannerisms, are we now calling Sammy Watkins Sammy Snotkins?
You can call him whatever you like. What happens outside this organisation is of no concern to me.
Is Tom Brady innocent?
I'm not going to comment on that.
How did you react when you heard that his ban had been taken away?
I don't think that's appropriate for a coach in this league to discuss.
Are you worried about Adrian Peterson? Obviously taking him first because he's not played in 12 months and his right tackle is injured and his line in general is pants.
Well, he's a good player in this league. I don't think that's happened. That's hurt him in the past, but we'll see how he does when he gets in.
Joseph Randall.
Why?
Why that high, and aren't you concerned that Darren McFadden's actually the starter?
I think that situation's not resolved yet, so we'll see what happens over the course of the season.
Andrew Luck, you obviously took him last year and he did well for you. Were you surprised to get him at where you got him?
Andrew's a good player. We've had experience with him in the past, so I'm happy he came back.
I love how he's trying to come across as Bill. Your first 3 running backs that you took in 5 rounds or whatever it was, Peterson, Forte and Alfred Morris, are you worried that they're all, old?
Well, I've had Forte in the past. I think he's a good player. I've always admired Peterson and how he works. And Alfred, I think, is a very solid back.
You admire that.
What was that, sorry?
Alfred, I think, is a solid back who can help us.
You said you admire Adrian Peterson, then you beat a child.
I admire him as a player. I have no comment on his off-field issue.
Are you worried about taking players like Devontae Adams and Sammy Watkins of a sophomore slump?
It's a stupid question.
Talking of age, Steve Smith, senior, really is senior. He's on a par with you for age. Is that a worry?
Well, he can still play. I've always admired how Steve plays. He's a hard worker and a good player, as he would say. I saw some.
We've worked out that you do have the oldest average lineup age.
Is that anything to do with your age?
Yeah.
I can relate to a lot of the players on there. Some say age brings wisdom. I believe that to be true.
Okay.
Martellus Bennett's not got a great quarterback situation and he's also a bit of a prick. How do you feel about him?
He's had the same quarterback situation for the past few years. He's always done pretty well.
Such a Bill answer.
Yeah, exactly.
Even the stare,
I
like the
really like
stare
it.
after.
I think we've analysed every single player on your roster.
Bill, where are you going on holiday?
Well, we need to weigh some options. For you to fill.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
All over them.
Going to get away from him because he's got a sign to send me on. He's just been called Bill.
Lee.
Or is he snot all over you?
That was my opening for a Bill press. He always
I
does
really
it.
like that.
If you ever listen to him, he always comes on and goes.
Here we go.
That's class.
Right, I think we've got some big names going into this season, so I'm pretty confident. Some returning players like Hauschka and some others, probably. Not too sure. And, yeah, there must be some. Yeah, so pretty confident this season.
What inspired the name of your team?
Just looked at the Hall of Fame and kind of stood out as a name. It'll probably change halfway through the season, or at least when I play Alex.
Are you concerned that you couldn't remember the players that you had on the team last year?
No, because this season is now and last season was then. So.
There was a few issues with trying to draft players that had already been drafted. Joseph Randall springs to mind as you tried to draft him twice. Abdul Joyke Bell. There's rumours that you weren't following the draft. Are you committed to this league?
Yes.
Was it merely just did the paperwork not arrive in time?
Or was it the fact you fell asleep mid-draft?
How much research did you put into?
A few hours, maybe. Probably not.
Why did you decide to pour cider on yourself about halfway through? Was that a tactical move or?
Just to wake myself up, basically.
Duke Johnson, was that him? The guy you tried to draft? Did you phone him up beforehand telling you were going to draft him? But then, in fact, when you found out he was a running back, you decided to quit him. Does he know your decision? How does he feel about it?
Who?
That'll do as an answer.
You took a bit of a flyer really on Melvin Gordon quite early on. Did you watch him at Wisconsin and enjoy his football playing there? Do you think he's got talent to do well in the league? And are you worried of the fact that it might be a committee?
To be honest, it was just my cheat sheet. I can't say anything more than that.
Mike Evans, are you worried about Vincent Jackson at all, or are you pretty confident that Mike can do the job for you?
Yeah, I'll probably do the job.
Who will you start in week 1, Vincent or Mike? Or both?
Didn't realise he got both.
He's got 2 Tampa Bay wide receivers.
Don't know, probably toss a coin.
You've got 2 quarterbacks, and I think you've done quite well to get them where you got them actually, in Russell Wilson and Drew Brees. Who is the number 1?
Probably Russ, because I picked him higher up, so it's probably because no one else took him, so yeah, I don't know.
And also you were the only person who, in fact it was the only pick where a running back wasn't taken in the first round. Are you confident in your running backs?
Yeah.
No, Julio went.
Yeah, but Julio and then
Yeah,
Sean, so that sort of doesn't count.
Well, I chose Jeremy Hill and DeMarco Murray 2nd and 3rd, so that's pretty strong there.
Good.
Who does DeMarco Murray play for?
Without looking at the script.
He plays for Philadelphia Eagles. I think.
Sweet.
Will you be following your players, or will you be watching them on TV?
When I can.
Will
Possibly.
you be focusing on making sure that your players are not on bye weeks, or will you just leave it to fate?
To be honest, I'll have a look.
As a tiny bet representative, we're surprised to see only 1 Atlanta Falcon and no JJ Watt. What happened there?
To be honest, I was just looking at my cheat sheet basically, and
JJ Watt wasn't
Yeah.
suggested.
yeah, he wasn't there. Couldn't go for him.
We realised that last year you made no waiver pickups at all, and you still managed to make the playoffs. Same tactic this year?
It's worked for me the past 2 years. So can't change that. Might as well carry on.
You made some trades last year that didn't quite come out in your favour. What are you looking to do differently this year with trading?
Probably trading less. Maybe not accepting any. Maybe not letting people fuck me over.
Right. I think that's it. End on that.
Brilliant.
Nice.
Alright, Jake.
Was it me?
Yeah. Do you want me to hold this?
Are you expecting us to go to Hereford if you do win and host the
He's
draft?
finished now.
Yeah.
That's going to be a pain.
It's just one train.
Aren't you concerned that you took the entire Broncos offense with the first 2 picks?
No, and in my opening statement, if you'd like to say that, I would have actually said that I'm very pleased with what I've got. Bye weeks don't bother me, so I think whoever I'm playing week 7 may have an easy ride. I may think they do, but we'll see how it goes. We're planning to trade. We've got a lot of value at running back, we believe, so don't be surprised if I come offering you 2 running backs for a wide receiver or something.
Question.
Yeah.
You previously expressed concern about David Cobb.
Yeah.
Why do you have these concerns?
I think I planned to take him with my head earlier on if he was still there, but to be honest, with my heart, I wish I hadn't. I think I probably would have gone for someone who I enjoyed last year, someone maybe like Niall Davis, especially considering he's not gone yet. Another handcuff would have been to maybe get Jerry McKinnon, but we'll see how that goes.
You took the Manning brothers at quarterback. Would you rather Peyton or Eli's career? Peyton or Eli to start week 1, or Peyton or Eli in bed?
I think in bed, Eli.
Eli, how do you feel about that?
He looks
He seems happy about that.
Yeah. But I'm quite happy with the brothers. Eli was a target I had from an early round. I would think my late targets were Bradford, Tannehill, and Eli. So I'm happy to get Eli. Peyton at that stage is pretty good as well. Not sure about having the wide receiver and the running back there, but we'll see how that goes. I think I would rather have had Peyton's career. And that's just because I don't really know anything other than the fact that he won the Super Bowl with the Colts.
Are you saying you would rather have a good regular season than a good playoff career?
Because that does make sense.
That makes
based
sense.
on your previous history.
Speaking of which, you've never won a playoff game. What are you going to do differently to actually do something in this league for once?
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
You didn't draft a kicker or a defense. Are you not worried about that?
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
You ribbed Alex for age in his team, but you've got quite a few older players in there.
Are you scared that Frank Gore's going to be taken off at half time and shot?
I'm not scared at all. No.
Are you scared of spiders?
He was no, not really.
Oh.
Some have described Peyton Manning's arm as a wet noodle. How do you address that? Are you concerned with him as your quarterback?
We've got technical difficulties.
I am concerned with him at quarterback. I think Demarius is going to be the main target there, so I'm happy with him. I think CJ will get a lot more screen passes considering Peyton's legs are going and he can't propel himself very well when he's throwing. So deep balls, Emmanuel Sanders will suffer.
Not right.
Probably. We'll see how it goes. Who are Broncos playing first week?
You haven't done this research.
You pick the whole Denver Broncos offense and you don't know who they're playing with what.
No.
Are you concerned about Jason Witten, considering he's not actually the starting tight end for the Cowboys anymore?
And he's
Kind
old
of,
as
yeah.
well.
Tight ends are something I'm willing to stream this year. I'm fine with Witten. He was a bit of a sleeper for me. I didn't expect him to fall. I thought it was my target really. But there's guys on the waiver wire I'm happy to take. Yeah. Let me just check this Broncos schedule. How'd you find it?
Isn't it St. Louis? Might be St. Louis.
St. Louis Rams?
Yeah.
Do you feel guilty that you robbed Lee of his pick of Jordy Bell?
Yeah, a little bit. And Amir Abdullah and no, there's no one else was there. But yeah, I didn't want Bell at all. I'm glad I've got him though because it means when one of them gets injured, Abdullah or Bell, I'll have the main guy there in my team.
What kind of production are you looking from Abdullah, considering that he's not really done anything?
Abdullah, I'm not sure. I'm not going to start in week 1. I don't think. We'll see how it goes. He's just my man, my boy. Gotta get your boys.
Okay, so David Cobb, Danny Woodhead, Ronnie Hillman, Joyd Bell, Abdullah, the questionable to start, and then Anderson and Ivory. There are a lot of capable backs behind them in the draft order. Are you concerned that maybe you're going to see weeks where Frank Gore is your only starting running back?
Absolutely not. No, I think if Anderson's ever out, it'll be Hillman. If Abdullah's ever out, it'll be Bell, and vice versa. And I think Frank Gore's going to surprise a lot of you. I think he'll finish top 10 running back this year.
Then or not.
Okay.
Well, that was going so well, mate.
We're doing John. How's this work?
Can point good. I like it. No, I like that.
What?
What are you doing?
I don't know.
Drop stone.
Can I put this down and just hold the camera?
Yeah, you can.
Oh, we go. Let's don't sit on it.
Right. As the Tidybowl champs, I think we had a very good draft. I'm surprised by getting TJ Yeldon last, considering his upside. Odell Beckham was the best wide receiver in the league when he played, so I'm pretty happy with that. I think my team is pretty damn good, considering where I was picking. I'll let you ask me questions before I go through it all.
Why 3 tight ends?
3 tight ends, because Rob Gronkowski at the end of the third was just a ridiculous steal. Jimmy Graham was playing more of a wide receiver than a tight end, and I think those two will have incredible resale value later down the road. And I think as a flex, Jimmy Graham's a pretty damn good flex. I'd rank him over the majority of running backs as a flex player.
D'Angelo Williams, will he be getting dropped once Le'Veon Bell returns to action?
I'll just finish the previous point. Owen Daniels, he's a Peyton Manning tight end, and you can't beat value like that late. D'Angelo Williams knows what he is. He's just there as a stopgap, and he's a good team player. So I imagine that's what he's came to expect. I gave him a ring and told him this might only be temporary, but he said he's going to try and impress me. So we'll see what happens.
Are you concerned that your first 7 picks all have serious question marks?
Like what?
Odell Beckham, Madden curse, Gronk, injuries, Foster
The Madden
injured.
curse?
Yeah.
The Madden curse?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Foster injured. Graham, how will he be used? Landry, second year player might drop off. Jennings injuries and Newton lack of targets.
Well, do you want me to go through every single player?
Just address them all.
So Odell, like I said, his potential. I mean, he outplayed Antonio Brown last year, and he went what, 5th overall. Rob Gronkowski, best tight end in the league, pretty easy that one. I mean, injury concern wise, I've got Owen Daniels, and I think Owen Daniels will probably be. I think there I've got the top 3 tight ends in fantasy. So I'm not concerned about that. Arian Foster, I mean, at the end of the 4th round for Arian, who's the best fantasy running back there is if he's fit. I mean, if I get 8 games out of him, then that's worth a 4th round pick compared to, let's see, Keenan Allen. Jimmy Graham, the potential is unreal for the middle of the 6th round. Jarvis Landry is the number 1 option for the Dolphins, and they just use him constantly. He's more of a targets guy. He's just going to get loads of targets, that's fine. Rashad Jennings was a top 5 running back before he got injured last year, and will be the main running back for the Giants, and they like to run it. Cam Newton, I mean, my other quarterback's not being picked. He's still there, so I can always go back and get him. But because Cam's got no targets, it means he's going to run, and a quarterback that runs is basically like a cheat code of fantasy. And that was it, wasn't it? So I'm pretty happy with it.
Is Odell Beckham related to David Beckham?
Yeah, it's his grandson.
So there's a lot of smoke and mirrors, as we would have expected from yourself. Like Gronkowski, Graham, you've slated them non-stop.
Yep.
Are you pleased with how your deception has paid out for you?
Yeah, because I think if you find every single player I've slated is pretty much the ones I've picked. Odell I slated horrifically since the end of the. I knew I would have to get him. Gronkowski I slated because I thought that Odell would go, so I'd take Gronk end of the 2nd. But that he fell to the end of the 3rd is just like, I mean, he's going to outscore Brandon Oliver, which is Johnny's pick. Arian, I mean, everyone knows Arian's good. They're just cowards and didn't take him, didn't trust him. Jimmy I slated because he's good. I mean, Cam I slated because he could be bad, but you know, the rest I think are just solid players.
Are you worried about your running back situation in that, apart from Arian Foster, who obviously is injured?
Arian,
whatever. I prefer Arian. Are you worried?
Of course you do.
I don't make the joke obvious. Are you worried that your running backs aren't viable running back 2s, or even running back 1s that you're going to need?
D'Angelo Williams is an RB1 in week 1. Darren McFadden, if he's starting running back at the Cowboys, then he's probably a top 10 pick. Isaiah Crowell, he's a starting running back. I'm not sure why everyone slept on him because they think he's in a running back by committee. But they're trying to cut Terrence West and trade him. So I think that's pretty obvious. And Crowell is decent.
Well, you're
Brown's
not
going to run the ball.
Duke Johnson.
No, Duke Johnson's someone I really like, but he's just not NFL ready. He's going to take a season. But even so, Duke said he's a LaShawn McCoy, so he's not going to impact their ground and pound stuff. So yeah.
A couple of trades for yourself this draft. Are you pleased with how they've gone for you?
Yeah, to go and get Graham, because my targets in the 8th and 9th round were Landry and Jennings. That's who I wanted, and Cam, to be honest. It was hard to pass over Drew Brees, because I know he's good, but I just would rather go the upside of Cam. So I got the players I wanted. I went up and got Jimmy. I think it's pretty solid.
Obviously, you actually I've got that hand on your trophy the entire press conference. You won last year. How confident are you in retaining the trophy, or is this a down year? And as you spoke before about having potential resale value, are you looking to come back stronger next year?
I think I can win the league and trade away Rob Gronkowski, so I'm not concerned. That's more what I meant by that. But I think I've probably got the best team out of anyone, because I think the potential in this team is absolutely unbelievable. If Cam plays like he did in his first year, if he rushes for more touchdowns than he does passing, that's absolutely fine with me. Gronk and Graham, they got 18 touchdowns, they've had 18 touchdown seasons. Odell Beckham is Odell. Arian Foster's the best running back in the draft. Looking at my draft board, you wouldn't have known I was missing a first round pick, which is what I'm happy most about. You could that draft could have gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and onwards, and nobody would have noticed. And that's what I'm happy with.
When you think about the teams in this league, there's one that comes to mind which you have yet to beat. Are you concerned? Do you think you have what it takes this year to beat them? And will you cry if you don't?
If I don't beat them, they will be beaten somehow. But it's just a goal for us, because when you've achieved everything in this league, so early on, you need something to do. So if we do beat that team, then it'd be a bonus. But I'm not really looking at the small fish of the league. I'm looking at the winning the whole thing again, because no matter what, this trophy isn't leaving my hands. I'll probably have to be dead to do it, because I'm going to.
Some would say you might be if you lose to both. You lose to me again.
To you?
To the team I cover.
Okay. Well, I've lost to you every single year, and I lost twice to you last year, and I still won the league. When that team, they became the most irrelevant team in the entire league. So I'm not really concerned about that now. They're not. They're just an afterthought.
How are you going to feel celebrating a Rob Gronkowski touchdown to confirm the New England divisional win?
It's fine, as long as I win. I had Tom Brady on my team last year. The only player I would have never drafted is Des Bryant. Everyone else, it's part of the game. Rob's a great player, best tight end in the league, and he's better than the majority of the running backs that have been drafted. So I'm happy with 17 points a game. Don't care how I'll get it.
What team do you think's most likely to take the trophy off you if you don't win it this year?
Johnny's team. But in all seriousness, nobody's good enough. There's literally no team there that I see as a chance. Jamal Charles, he's not going to last a week. People say Arian Foster's a risky pick, but Jamal's not going to last a week. Julio's got no O-line. Lynch is old. Green is one of the most overrated players in history. Rodgers hasn't got any wide receivers. Every single player I could go through. Pick out a player and they're just not good enough. LaShawn McCoy's got injury issues and he's got Boobie Dixon behind him. Le'Veon Bell's suspended 2 games, and why you take a suspended player who is going to be overtaken by D'Angelo Williams, I don't know. Andrew Luck in the 3rd round is ridiculous, considering Peyton Manning went in the 13th, and they're not going to really be that much difference. Every team is just bad. CJ Anderson, what? Demaryius Thomas, he's got Peyton Manning. So everything on Jacob's team is going through the Broncos, and they just don't have the talent. Frank Gore's awful. I actually like Liam's team the best out of the rest. Calvin Johnson's injury prone.
You start the season against Liam.
Oh, do I?
Yeah.
I thought it was Johnny.
Your lineup is probably, you might admit, a slow starting lineup with potential to end big. Do you see maybe taking an early loss this year?
No. I mean, let's compare teams.
Yeah, we have that. Been for every player on that board.
No, like I'm pretty happy with my team. I've got D'Angelo Williams there, he'll do it. Jarvis Snowdell, they're fine.
If there was one player on the board you have regrets about, if you could choose to have on your team, which one would you choose?
One of them.
No, you've got to choose one.
Jared Hayden.
I think we're all in agreement that probably concludes your press conference. Would you like to conclude the draft as commissioner?
Yeah. Stop asking me questions. Yeah.
And get out.
Draft's over. Hope you enjoy your t-shirts. I hope you all get laid. That's about it. And I'm looking forward to beating you all.
All the best. Yeah. That's what I thought. One of the best. Nice trades that we've done there. I do like the team again, same as last year. So if you do want to trade any players, come to me first, because I'm not going to rate you.
I think I'll clean this tomorrow.
See you in week one.
I will wait.
Cheers, Carl.
Good luck, Lee.
So I will wait.
Well, I think, like I said in the press conference, I think we're 1 and 6.
Does anyone want to keep this safe for me? Because
I'll keep the frame, yeah, because if I find it,
yeah, I haven't got any space in my bag for it.
Well drafted.
Thank you. Thanks so much. I'm looking forward to being John your lecture.
Well, I'm going to Korea.
I'm giving you know I'm driving, aren't I? I'm driving you back.
Yeah.
I'm doing it with this.
Alright, I'll make a bubble with it.
Okay, I'll whack it over it. No, it's what I can't believe it's over.